Hello everyone, I Rachna H. Kalapnavar, lecturer in Electrical and Electronic Department in Jain Polytechnic, Belagavi. In this video, I am going to teach you the characteristics and classification of instrument from the Electrical Measurements and Measuring Instruments subject, which is included in the diploma syllabus. So, first let us discuss with the what are the contents now. So, in this unit, we are going to discuss about some characteristics of instruments like static characteristic and dynamic characteristics and all will be discussing, and what are the classification of errors, why the errors and all occurring. Next is the necessity of torque in the instruments and the what are the types of the torques. Next, first we'll discuss about the characteristics of instruments. So two types, one is the static characteristics, second one is the dynamic characteristics. Static characteristics means the characteristics which do not vary with the time are called as static characteristics. Dynamic means which vary with the time. So in that static characteristics, we'll discuss some of the characteristics. In that, first one is the accuracy. So you'll be telling accurate. What it is accuracy? So in your measurement, some assume that one true value, that is one theoretical value you know, and you will be taking some readings. Assume that your true value is 10 amps and you will be taking so many readings, like you will be getting the readings like 9 amps, 9.5, 9.8, 9.7, like that. So many set of readings you will be getting. And in this set, which is a more accurate value? Which is a 9.8. So our true value is 10 amps. So which is the nearest to the close to that 10 amps? That is called as the accurate value. So the definition is, it is a degree of closeness with which the instrument reading approaches the true value of the quantity to be measured. That is nothing but 10 amps is our true value and 9.8 is very close compared to other readings. So that value we call it as a accurate value. So this is the accuracy. Next, come to the precision. It is a measure of repeatability. That is, for a given variable, it is defined as a measure of the degree to which successive measurements differ from one another. That is, you will be taking so many set of readings. In that set, like you may have 9.1 amp, 9.5 amps, 9.6 amps. So many set you are having. So one or the other readings, successive measurements are differ, no? So it is called as the repeatability. So that is called as the precision. More precise means they should be very close, like 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.3, like that. If you are getting the readings, it is a very close the values. So such readings, such are called as a more precise value. If the assumed readings you may get 8.5, 9, 9.5, then those are not close. So those readings are not precise value. So it is a measure of repeatability. Next, come to the sensitivity. So in day-to-day life, just I'll give an example. Sometime if the winter season started, some people will get affected to cold very soon. What will telling that time? He's very sensitive person. So what is the meaning of that? Means for a little bit change also he'll be affecting sensitivity. Like that, in our instrument also, it is the smallest change in a measured variable to which instrument responds. Means little bit you are changing the input, very small value, output will respond very soon. So such are called as the sensitivity, more sensitive. So only it is called as the ratio of output signal or response of the instrument to the change in the input signal or the quantity under measurement. Next we'll discuss about the resolution. First I'll give example. See, you are having one ammeter. Whenever you're giving the input, if you are giving the input, sometimes it's not showing the reading. It will start, if you are increasing the input, it is not showing the reading. After it reaching the 0.1 amp or 1 amp, it depends on instrument, it will start to show the reading. Why it is not showing for less than 1 amp or less than 0.1 amps? Because it is resoluted for that value only. It is a minimum starting value only 1 or 0.1. It is depends on the instrument. Just I am giving the example. So only when the input is slowly increased, but from some arbitrary value, but output does not change at all until certain increment is exceeded. That is 1 or 0.1, whatever the instrument's resolution is there. After that only it will start to show the reading. So it is called as the resolution. It is the smallest change of input for which there will be change of output. Next come to the tolerance. See, sometime what happen if you buy anything, just see the specification, some 10 plus or minus 0.1%, 20 plus or minus 0.2%, like that it will be written. Why it is? Because for manufacture what happens, sometimes there will be little bit error in the equipment. It is in the very less percentage. So that they will be writing in that plus or minus 10% or plus or minus 5%, little bit. So that is a maximum allowable error in the measurement is specified in terms of some values called a tolerance, that allow 0.1% error is allowed there. So sometimes they'll be writing like that. If anything manufacturer it is there, no, they'll be writing like that, plus or minus that much little bit changes will be there. Assume that 100 something equipment or pipe or anything is there 100, then what happen, they'll be writing 0.1% of that. There will be less than or it may be more than that. So that is called as the tolerance. Next come to the error. What is the error? You know this, it is algebraic difference between the indicated value and the true value of the quantity to be measured. It is a inaccuracy. That only, if you are taking the reading, true value is assume you are 20 volt, but you are getting the reading as a what, 19 point something, 19.8 volt. Then what is the error? 20 volt minus 19.8, then 0.2%, 0.2 voltage error you will be getting. That is an algebraic difference between your true value and the indicated value is called a error. Next we'll discuss about the some classification of errors. So why the error will be occurring, what is the reason behind that. So and all those things we'll be discussing now. There are three types of errors: gross errors, systematic errors and the random errors. See, gross errors are nothing but human errors, human mistakes. While he taking, sometime he may be taking readings not properly, recording the taking in the writing in the book it's not proper. Sometimes he may be doing the mistakes, and while doing the calculation also some formulas he has to insert for something calculations and all, that time also there will be mistakes. So sometime assume that you are measuring the watt meter reading, that time watt meter constant you have to take, no, that time if you are instead of watt meter constant 2 you are taking watt meter constant as 1, then it is a mistake in your recording also and in calculating also. So that is a error also occur due to the some humans, that is you people, whatever you people taking the readings, no, you people also may do the mistakes. So the such errors are called as the gross errors. Next come to the systematic errors. These errors are due to some, may be due to some defect in the instruments and the aging effects, and some may be due to the environmental effects. See, aging effects means if you buy one equipment, okay, that time it will be performance is very good. After 2 years sometime it will be showing a error in the reading. Why? Because the aging of parts. So only it is a little bit changes, there may be weaken the magnetic field, weaken the spring actions and all. So it is a aging of, due to that little bit less performance. So that is called as the aging effects. So depending on that, three are there. One is the instrumental errors, environmental errors, and next is the observational errors. So instrumental errors, it is due to the some, it may be due to any wrong construction and any misuse of instruments, and sometimes due to the sudden increase or sudden decrease in loading effects and all may harm your instrument, and that time you may take the wrong readings. So these are called as the instrumental errors. Next is environmental errors. See, environmental condition, it may be temperature, humidity and all may be affecting your instruments, affecting the instruments. Sometime what happen, beside only any magnetic field or static field is there, means that time deflection of the pointer may varies. That is also there, error in the reading. So that is nothing but the environmental errors. For to avoid that, shielding and all we are using, but if it is not there, then it will be not proper reading, will be not getting. Next is the observational errors. It is nothing but carelessness of the observer who is taking the reading. Whenever you are measuring from the analog instruments, that is indicating instruments, see, you have to stand straight. If you are standing side or cross and you are not doing the readings, then you may take the wrong deflection pointer where it is there. No, you may take the wrong reading. So that time you may get a wrong readings. So what you have to do, you have to stand straight and take the readings, and you should not bend too much also. You have to stand straight and take the reading properly. That is nothing but your wrong habits of taking the reading. Wrong scale selection also. So many analog meters are there, all are not having same scale. Depending on the ranges, scale also will be changing. So see the scale properly and take the readings. Due to that also some observational errors will be occurring. Next, third one is the random errors. See, all the systematic errors, gross errors, and all you people are calculated. Still, some of the reasons are unknown in the measurement. So, it is some subjected to irregular. Such errors are called as the random errors. That is, after calculating all the systematic error, it is found that there are still some errors in the measurement are left. Those errors are called as the random errors. Next, come to the point important necessity of torque in the instruments and types. See, analog and indicator instruments will be having the pointer. That pointer should move, no? Who is going to move that? So for that some working principle should be there, some force or torque should be there to move that pointer. So, and it should stop properly, and you have to take the readings properly. For all those things, you need a three main types of torques: deflecting torque, controlling torque, and the damping torque. See, in the deflecting torque, the pointer should move on the scale. So for that, deflecting torque is compulsory. For that, we need the some effects. It may be magnetic effect, it may be heating effect, chemical, electrostatic, and electromagnetic induction, and all. These all are effects you require. That is working principle to move that pointer. Okay, then it will be moving the, after those only the pointer will move on your scale and it will be stopped. So it will be moving from the zero position to measure the some electrical quantity. Next is controlling torque. See, it should oppose the deflecting torque and it should be increased with the deflection of the pointer of the moving system. And the pointer will come to the rest position when the both the torques, deflection and the controlling torque, should equal. What happen if the controlling torque is not there? See, if the controlling torque is not there, means your deflection of the pointer will be continually moving on the scale and it will go to the infinite position. That is your last position and it will not again come back to the back. So if it is a controlling, something should be everywhere, controlling should be there. So whenever the equal, the force should and opposite force should be there. That is given by whom? Controlling torque. So whenever the deflection torque and controlling torque will become equal, no, that is your exact value to take the readings. That is your exact true value to take the readings. That is TD is equal to TC. And it controlling torque can be produced by either, you can, some instruments will be having spring control action, some instruments will be having the gravity control action. Next, come to the damping torque. See, you might have observed in the your labs and all, in analog instruments, what happens while taking the readings, the pointer will be oscillating. It will not come to the rest suddenly. Some oscillations will be there. So to avoid those oscillations, we need the damping torque. If the damping torque is not there, it is very difficult for you people to take the readings, because it is oscillating, means which reading you will be taking? It's like pendulum oscillating the pointer. Okay, so to bring the pointer to rest in its final position very quickly, then we need the damping torque. In that again we are having some three types. Some will be having air friction damping, fluid friction damping, and the eddy current damping. So I hope you understood all these things. Thank you.